Tonight we are tracking a disturbing story in Chester County. Police arresting scam artists who are going door to door offering contracting services. And one of the suspects is accused of sexually assaulting a woman inside of her home. Action News reporter Sharifa Jackson, she's live for us tonight in Westchester with the details on how investigators were able to track down these suspects. Sharifa, what are you learning?
Well, Gray, I can tell you this sexual assault was reported November 22nd, and the two men, they were arrested not too long after that. Police tell us that the duo, they're originally from England and Ireland, and they have no permanent residences here in the United States. They're not exactly sure how long they've been in the area or how many people are possible victims to this contracting scam.
I feel like the world is really crazy right now, and I wish stuff like this wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it continues to.
It's a contracting scheme Westchester police say quickly unraveled after reports of a sexual assault. These are the faces of the two men, James McDonough and John Delaney. Police say both men dressed as contractors and knocked on a door on West Union Street November 22nd. They told a woman they were soliciting for home repair work. But once inside, police say James, who identified himself as Jimmy, sexually assaulted her. Matthew Turr says it's not uncommon in the area to have contractors knocking on your door looking to fix your home.
That's definitely a scary thing. It sounds like they knew what they were doing and that they had that in mind.
But Everest Roofing and Masonry is a business police say doesn't even exist. We found their website that shows a long list of services, past projects, and glowing reviews. Police say the men even carried these IDs and receipt books to support the look of the fraudulent business. That's up until the reported sexual assault was under the radar. The men were both taken into custody after police called the business number and scheduled a meetup. Tonight they're warning residents of this elaborate and dangerous scam and want anyone who placed any deposits to contact their department.
We're a small town, very friendly most of the time, but it definitely keeps us on edge hearing about something like that.
Yeah, both men are in custody tonight and face a number of different charges, including deceptive business practices. McDonough is also charged with aggravated indecent assault. We're live in Westchester tonight. Sharifa Jackson for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Shari?
All right, Sharifa, thank you.
So you all just heard that audio right there with a news clip referring to this story about these two degenerates right here that you see on your screen. And I think one thing that definitely stuck out to me that I'm sure many of you heard too, I had to keep myself from pausing the video in order to make sure it played all the way through so I can get all of the details that were put out there, is the fact that these two were from across the pond. Yeah, they said that they were from Ireland. I believe they said they were from Ireland. Now look at that. They came across the pond, been here for God knows how long, and are committing acts of what I believe to be domestic terrorism, in a sense. And here we are. So we have our south of the Bordarians, the not so secret invasioners, and in case y'all did not know, I had one for people like them too, who come from, across the water. I call them across the ponders. Y'all know I'm good for a nickname. But this is actually very sick, twisted, and scary more than anything. Anything more than it being the first two things that I named it is that it's scary. Because you just never know. Like, they could come off as one way and then boom, that switch flips and then they turn out to be a complete and utter monster. You just never know because they present themselves in a what people will believe to be a professional manner, and then that's how they go in for whatever it is that they're doing. And like they said, this was an elaborate scheme that these two committed. But the scarier part about it is this is a scheme that's been going on for such a very long time, where someone is going to pose as something else than what they actually are, just so they could try to get something out of someone, whether it's money, in this case, whether it's for them to harm somebody on a physical way, and a host of other ways in which they go about in committing and carrying out their degenerate based behavior. It's a very scary place. It's very scary out there. Ladies, please be careful about stuff like this. Make sure you always have your power tool, because you just never know. You just never know. They presented themselves one way and they were turned out to be something completely different. And that woman who this happened to, she was completely unsuspecting of it, because a lot of these people who claim to be these contractors or whatever it is, they go around, they typically do that. They'll go around and see if anyone needs some kind of work done or whatever the case may be. They probably were scoping. I wouldn't be surprised if they were scoping at her place for a while. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was not even random. They probably saw her periodically go in and out of her house to see if someone actually lived there that they could go after, and they probably went after her. Of course, I'm just speculating, but it could be true. You just never know. People are like that. They are determined. But it's very unfortunate, and the crazy part about it is I wish I could sit up here and say that it'll never happen again, but I would be lying, because this kind of thing happens all the time, where people pretend to be something that they aren't just to get something that they want out of someone who's unsuspecting of whoever it is. I think what also makes this very scary too is the fact that they went all out with their scheme. Like, they actually had a whole business name and a whole website that had reviews on it. Now, the thing is, those reviews could have definitely been doctored. Like, those are most likely could have been fake reviews, because I highly doubt that these two men were contractors or whoever it is that they were claimed to be, because it said they were pretending. So they could have easily created that website to make it seem like they were professionals. They could have put fake reviews up. That way they could gain the trust of the people, just in case they wanted to see what kind of services they offer, to see what kind of reviews were left by people who were quote unquote customers. So they had this thing thoroughly planned out. They had it thoroughly planned out. It's not like they were just, you know, they just woke up one morning and said, hey, let's go out there and pretend to be contractors, but on the flip side, we're going to do this. No, they planned this out for a while, and then that's when they went in for it. I wonder if they went after anybody else, or if this was the first person that you went after. And hopefully, you know, it's unfortunate that it was this person, but hopefully it was just one person that they went after before they actually caught them. Hopefully that is definitely the case.